Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if it's your first time here, my name's Tim from Candid Tech TV. Today we're taking a look at this projector. It actually is two different projectors that I'm aware of, the Crenova XPE496, also the Vankyo Leisure 410. So that's right, a lot of these companies just basically get the projector from, some manufacturer, rebrand it as their own and sell it like that. The M18 is another common one that does that, a 1080p projector that I've covered. That is another Vankyo projector. Also Jim Tab and a few other brands. So just know going forward that this is both the Crenova XPE496, but it's also the Vankyo Leisure 410, which is the much more popular option that has a lot more reviews as well. So this is a native 800 by 480p projector. So one of the listings had this down as 100 anti-lumens. So it's not the brightest. This is one that's definitely gonna be kept for nighttime use or like say in a basement, garage, something like that. It has a 2001 contrast ratio. They say that the projector distance, basically like 3.9 feet to 18 feet away, will give you a corresponding 28-inch picture up to 180-inch picture. And I will say with these type of budget projector ones, these do always end up having to be a bit closer to my wall than say like the Vankyo one that I've been using and things like that. You can't zoom with these, so it just literally goes by how far away you have it from the wall. So depending on, how much room you've got and everything, I typically have this about 9 feet, I'd say roughly from the wall to give me a 100-inch picture where it fits up on my screen I have up on the wall. So they say the lamp life on this is 60,000 hours, so it's gonna last you a long time. You're basically gonna probably be buying a new projector or upgrading by the time that thing goes. It is LED, and for the Crenova model, this is the upgraded, quote unquote model. They say, it has less noise. They say it's brighter. On Amazon, this one's got 173 reviews right now on that Crenova one, and it's 4.4 out of 5 stars. Basically like 4.5 out of 5 stars on over 1,200 reviews for the Vankyo Leisure 410. So obviously what that tells you is that in this budget projector space, these ones come highly recommended. Included in this, you're going to get a remote that basically takes 2 AAA batteries. You're going to get an AV cable that you can connect some things to it with, the HDMI cable. You'll get a little screw to put in the front of the bottom projector so that you can kind of help with the angle adjustment and tilt it up a little bit if necessary. And it's going to come with a manual. Right off, talking about that screw, it's nice because, theoretically that should help you kind of project upward if you needed. I had a little bit of an issue with correcting the keystone with this projector. What always seems to happen in these budget projectors is the minute you touch the keystone, you can get the image back flat and even and square on the wall, but then what happens is either the top's out of focus or the bottom's out of focus. If you can get by without using the keystone, that's the best way to go for these, because when you really have to use it, there's typically going to be like a blurry edge or part of the picture that isn't in focus. So I would try to completely avoid it if you can and just project straight at it and get it as even as you can. You do have some buttons on the top of the projector, so if you lost the remote or you just want to use those, that's completely fine as well. You can basically do all the functions and navigate the menu and everything there. The keystone on this one, it's interesting, it's actually on the back. You have the focus wheel on the top front. Usually these budget projectors have them paired up there where you just have both right there, but you'll have the focus wheel on the front, on the top by the lens. The keystone knob there is on the back. And you do have a decent amount of options to hook up to this. You have an HDMI, which, nowadays is probably the most common. You have an AV out, you have an audio or aux out there. So that's cool because you can hook up an external speaker, which I'd highly recommend to go over the fan noise. There's a TV tuner on this one, VGA, USB, and an SD card slot. It does have the fans on there, they can be somewhat loud, especially if you're not really used to this, but most people can get by using an external speaker. Like I said, try not to have it set up right next to you if this is going to be something where you're literally sitting right next to it or it's like right over your head. That might be one thing to consider as well. If you have this away from you, then that's not so bad, and especially like I said, if you can hook up an external speaker, it helps drown it out. Also, speaking of sound, Dolby sound is not supported. So if you are streaming something that uses Dolby sound, you're going to have to go into the settings and change it to a different type of audio, because basically you're going to have no sound coming out if it is set to Dolby audio. And that is something that I'll say a lot of these budget projectors do not support Dolby audio. So if you get a name brand one, you should be fine, but looking at this budget space, that is typical that Dolby sound is not supported on a lot of these models. So let me show you a little bit here of some of the footage that I took. So I had my Roku hooked up to this, looked at Apple TV, looked at Hulu, Prime Video, some things like that, just to show you here. If you're using this in the dark like I was here, this was at nighttime, sunset, I had all the lights out and blinds drawn and everything inside. So you can kind of see it looks decent. It's definitely passable depending on, how picky you are. Like I said, for most of the time, I think if you're just getting into this projector space and you're looking for something you could just throw up on the wall, or you're a college kid, or you're going to be actually using this for children, put it in a man cave like in a basement, garage, something like that, that would look pretty cool, I think. But this does have its limitations. You're only going to be able to really use this at night, or like I said, maybe if it's in a basement, you don't have any windows down there, where you do have some strong blackout curtains. The picture isn't the best. It's definitely passable, and I'd say for media and like streaming of movies, TV shows, that type of thing, that's definitely where it shines. If you are getting into a little bit more text-heavy applications or things like that, that's where this is kind of not going to perform very well, because it's that 480p native resolution. 720p starts to get a little bit better, if you're really going to be looking at like presentations or something like that and text, and you really want 1080p. I'll show you zoomed in here just to give you an example, like looking at the Prime Video text here, and zoomed in on some of the thumbnails in that. I mean, it is going to be pixelated when you look close like that, but when you have this back further and you're watching this, and like I have it right now on a 100-inch screen up on the wall, you're not going to really notice that when you're too far away and you're 10 feet away or so on the couch. It looks pretty good, like I said, for media. So one thing we haven't looked at yet is the actual capability of the onboard speakers. So this is my friend Steve over at Evnos, and I fired up YouTube, and this is what it's gonna sound like.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be looking at a late 2014 Mac Mini running Catalina. As usual, anything I talk about is gonna be linked in the description below, and if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section. Let's jump right into this.
And I mean, the best part of this is honestly the price. If you think about it, by the time you go to the movies, like say 2-3 times, you could take that money and you could put it towards one of these, and you'll basically have it paid off. So go ahead and check. I'm going to put both of the links down below for both Vankyo and for Crenova, because the prices have been fluctuating. Right now at the time of this, they're actually both $90. But like I said, these are literally the exact same model. You can go check, the ports are the same, the design on the front is the exact same. The only thing that's different is the name on there. So really just go with the best deal that you can find on this one. I review projectors here weekly. In fact, one that I just reviewed 2 weeks ago comes in cheaper than this model. That's the Top Vision T23, and it's actually native 720p compared to this one at 480p. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out that video. That's popping up right now. Click on that. Definitely subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.